Bayern Munich being Bayern Munich again. They won like 4-0, 7-0. I don't know. There is something fun about that, I guess.
I definitely hold less animosity towards them than if Juve did it. If you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Juve were battering people 4-0, 5-0, I admire Bayern more for it. And I don't know why, because they just dominate that league and there is no, or very little competition when it comes to a title race. Like, Bayern just win it every fucking year. But yeah, I don't hold any animosity towards them. I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to think about that. And they battered Arsenal every bloody year. I should hate them, but you just can't hate them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Criscuolo from Berlin. And we are going to Paris, where there is Mr. Sean, right?
That's a good job I've been running this week. Right. Off to Paris. Can you hear the accordions? I can hear the accordions in the background and people cycling. And we are in Paris.
And there is not coronavirus anymore, especially, right? It's all over.
No, it's all good here. I'm stood under the Eiffel Tower and normality is kind of being restored in Ligue 1 also. We're seeing the title races drop like flies, Tommy, unfortunately. And PSG are now level on points with Lille on 45 points. Both have won 4 of their last 5. But Lille have lost 1 and PSG drew. And now it looks like, PSG will be kind of, especially, it will be interesting to see now how much of an impact Pochettino has. Obviously, before he took over, they were still behind. So he's started well. At the weekend, PSG beat Montpellier 4-0. Lille beat Rennes 1-0 away, which weirdly, I watched that game. It was on DAZN. It wasn't the most interesting, but Camavinga got the shit kicked out of him by the Lille players. It was pretty brutal to watch, but Lille got a 1-0 win. And Lyon beat Saint-Etienne 5-0 away, which still leaves them only 2 points behind. So there's still a bit more of a fight there than in Germany, but it looks like PSG is starting to ramp up again there.
Thank you very much to Rory, Mr. Criscuolo, and Sean. What a beautiful trip around Europe
That's what I call all my split personalities, right?
Yeah. Well, your name is Rory Sean Criscuolo, correct? Right? Yeah,
correct. So. Yes, correct.
Good. And finally, we go to Italy, mamma mia. And in Italy, guys, the big headline is all the Coppa Italia action that we have seen over the week. We are recording on a Thursday, as you know, and tonight Napoli play Spezia, a key game for Rino Gattuso, whose job is surprisingly on the line.
It feels weird because it feels like only last week, and now I'm going to admit our predictions aren't great, but it feels like only last week we were saying how good a job Gattuso was doing and how, he's not the manager we expected him to be and he's doing well, and all of a sudden it's really looking quite desperate there, right?
Look, I don't really understand it either. We all know Napoli's president, Aurelio De Laurentiis. Sometimes he makes decisions on a whim. Yeah, he's a bit of a wanker. But no, the thing is that Napoli all of a sudden have 2 consecutive losses. One against Juventus in the Super Cup final with that penalty miss by Insigne. But then over the weekend, they played Verona. They took the lead in the first minute thanks to Lozano, who is finally starting to deliver big time for Napoli. But then guess what? Verona won 3-1 and they came back and absolutely dominated the game with Di Marco scoring once again. Verona's left back on loan from Inter Milan. He's got 18 games, 3 goals and 3 assists. So if we think about Inter Milan's lineup with 2 pretty offensive wingers, it's a 3-5-2.
That is a nice little... I didn't know he was on loan. That's a nice little return at the end of the season, eh?
The only thing that kind of worries me about Di Marco, he's a very good player, slightly too offensive in my opinion. We all know that in the 3-5-2, the guys on the wings kind of have to defend quite a bit too. Hakimi does that pretty well. Ashley Young has been surprisingly good at doing that too, or maybe unsurprisingly good. But I think Di Marco could be a good name to call back to Inter next year. So that's it. Gattuso, good luck. The next games are against Spezia tonight, Parma and Genoa, and it seems evident that De Laurentiis said, I need 3 wins against the 3 teams.
Yeah, I think
so you can keep your job.
Sorry, I think Parma have looked pretty desperate recently, so you would expect Napoli to be picking up points there. Genoa showed a bit of fight, with big Mattia Destro, but I feel like Napoli should be expecting to get
Yeah, we'll be
We've got 4
talking
points
about
there.
fantasy football in our weekly topic later. But yeah, Destro is one of this year's fantasy football revelations, as you can imagine.
Oh, if
But so,
only.
yeah, Napoli-Spezia tonight. By the time you're listening to this pod, you will already know the result. But the other big game was, Inter against AC Milan. Beautiful last-minute win, 2-1. So
I have been looking so forward to talking about this game, and only for one reason. You know what? Everybody knows what the reason is, but I'm going to let you start us off, and then we'll go into what we want to talk about. Right?
We'll get there because until that moment, it was a very close game, very competitive game, and AC Milan confirmed that they are a good, solid team. Ever since Rory said that Rafael Leao sucks, he's been delivering and he's been playing very well. What I like about that guy is that he has very good dribbling skills. He's very good negli spazi stretti, we call them in Italian, in the tight spaces, in the tight spots.
Yeah, tight spaces. Yeah,
when he's surrounded by players, he always manages to keep the ball, pass it to a teammate. He had a beautiful shot that kissed the outside of the post right at the first minute. Do you think that Handanovic dived to try and save that shot? No, he's got laser vision. That's what we were saying with my mates while we were watching the game. He's got laser vision. He just looks at the ball and like laser beams it, right? But no, and it was also a very good debut for Tomori, whom we were talking about last week. Kjaer got injured for AC Milan right at the beginning of the game. He's got a back problem. This was Tomori's first game since September. I think he played pretty well, and AC Milan are going to need him. So it's always nice to see that a player who didn't have space at his former club finally gets a chance to perform. Yup, and then a few very good saves by Tataruzanu. When I saw that happening, I was like, how is it possible that like any goalkeeper, second-string goalkeepers, Pau Lopez, they always perform against Inter Milan?
Well, you know, it's their opportunity, though, right? It's their opportunity to steal the headlines, and like we all know, Donnarumma's not going anywhere, right? Or at least he's not leaving that. He's not getting pushed out of that starting 11. So I suppose the goalkeeper needs to make the most of his opportunities,
right? And then we get to Ibrahimovic's goal. This guy is ageless, and the way he defends the ball, and the way he kind of waits that extra second to shoot the ball, and then he just has this perfect colpo da biliardo. Follow our Instagram page. We are going to have
cheeky little preview there.
We are going to have weekly lessons about Italian and English football vocabulary, and this one will be one of them. A colpo da biliardo is a very low.
Don't give it away. You'll have to watch it.
Just watch Ibrahimovic's goal. That was a colpo da biliardo. Yeah. Exactly. And then we get to the end of the first half, and Rory, you want to talk about this?
Now, this is, I love it when Twitter has a full meltdown about something, because obviously I was watching Arsenal-Southampton at the same time, and all I saw was Romelu Lukaku screaming in English at Zlatan, and I'm all for it. I love it when players lose their shit. It was weird to see Lukaku do it, because I've never seen him lose his temper before, really. He always seems like such a chill guy. But obviously, I think if anyone can make you irrationally angry, it's probably Zlatan. Now, you know a bit more what happened in the game. I was there for the swearing and seeing Zlatan run away at halftime, because he shat himself. I don't care what he says. He was doing that classic, yeah, come on then, as you're running away. Like, he shat himself.
So, look, the thing is this one. I will go through it very quickly. You guys have seen footage and everything. So, Romagnoli bodies Lukaku, and Lukaku rightfully gets a little mad because he's just like, dude, the ball was gone. You literally tackled me with your shoulder. That's not cool. And he went face to face. Then I have a feeling that while he was discussing with Romagnoli, Ibrahimovic on the back was kind of looking at him and shaking his head. And Lukaku just went like, don't look at me like that. Like, stop doing that fucking face. I hate it. And then they just started going at each other. And then infamously, Ibrahimovic said that sentence, go do your voodoo shit somewhere else. This is something that came up while Lukaku was at Everton, I believe. He was offered a contract somewhere else, but the news leaked that his mom is into voodoo rituals, and she had talked to her spirit. She had talked to a spirit that said that he shouldn't leave Everton or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, there was that sentence that was rightfully regarded also as slightly racist. And then Lukaku just went all in with, I'm going to fuck you and your wife, and I'm going to shoot you in the head. So
fuck you and your wife is such a good threat.
Yeah, but okay, I don't want to spend too much time on this one. All I have to say, my takeaways are that Lukaku comes out of this situation as slightly immature because there is a point where you just have to drop it, but so does Ibrahimovic. The man is an experienced 40-year-old player, and he should know better. He should lead by example, and this is the second time in 2 games that he does that. He did it against Atalanta as well. Yeah. He was trying to mock Zapata because he's got more goals than he's got, that he's got caps, which is true, by the way. But I mean, why do you always have
a compliment? It sounds like a compliment, though.
Yeah,
more goals and caps. Yeah, cheers, right? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, just like I will get to this, but AC Milan are acting a little too cocky. But then second half comes, Ibrahimovic rightfully gets a second yellow. It's a very stupid yellow. And ever since that moment, the game goes in one direction.
I've got a theory about that yellow, right? I've got a theory. Ibrahimovic was nowhere near that tackle, nowhere near the ball. He was already on a yellow. I think he got himself sent off so he didn't have to face the rest of the second half against Rom.
I don't know, man.
It was such a stupid tackle. There was no need for him to go for it. Absolutely. There was another player in front of him ready to tackle. There was no need for him to go for it at all.
Yeah, I think
it seemed like he just bottled it. I don't know what it was.
That's the nerves, I think. But then ever since that happened, dude, this is an incredible stat. I double and triple checked it because I didn't want to sound like like I was bragging about Inter. But ever since Zlatan Ibrahimovic got expelled, AC Milan kept the ball for only 2 minutes in the second half. Yup, that feels good. Let that sink in.
Absolute dominance.
So yeah, second half, absolutely dominated by Inter. At the end of the game, Inter had 14 shots on target versus AC Milan's only shot on target, which was a goal by Ibrahimovic. And it shows that Inter can be a very solid team when they want. I'm super happy for Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see.
We were at a friend's house past curfew. We couldn't watch the entire extra time. We didn't want to get fined by police. And so we were like, Christian, you got the crossbar last year against AC Milan. You deserve it. Goal. All right, let's go home. So that was beautiful. And the only problem is that Lukaku and Hakimi are going to miss the next Coppa Italia game, which is going to be the semi-final against Juventus. Yeah, that's going to be tough weeks ahead for Inter as well. 24 days to play Benevento at home without Conte because he got a red card for threatening the ref. Conte is very good at doing that, like very Italian posture, like high chin, like the fuck do you want? Like, I'll talk to you later. Like, and the ref was like, all right, red card. He gets banned for 2 matches. Then we're going to play Juventus at home without Hakimi and Lukaku. Then Fiorentina away again without Conte. Juventus away. Lazio at home and AC Milan away. This is from today until February 21st. Going to be a very intense month.
That is where we find out if Inter are kind of the real deal. Basically, we'll come back on the 21st of February and be able to see how good you are, I suppose.
And imagine how bad it would suck to have Champions League right there in the middle. So I'm very glad.
Don't. You'd still love to be in the Champions League. Don't give me that.
I prefer to focus on these games and try to push for the title, honestly. Then, last night, Juventus, remember that we are recording on a Thursday. Last night, Juventus Spal 4-0. Morata penalty, Frabotta. Woo!
Who is that guy? I've never heard of him.
He's already got 14 games. He scored his first goal last night and 1 assist. Pirlo is really, really like putting his trust in him. He had a mad strike from outside the box.
Yeah, I saw the goal. It was a great goal.
Yeah, and Morata scored a penalty, which makes it 13 goals and 8 assists for good old Alvaro in 23 games. Hello. That's not bad.
I did not see it going that well, that move. I think we were laughing when they signed. I did not see it going that well.
I did not laugh. I said that I thought that Pirlo knew exactly what Morata could do.
I was laughing. Correction. I was laughing.
And then we had another great game last night. Atalanta-Lazio 3-2. It was absolutely crazy. So Atalanta went up due to a terrible attempt of clearing the ball by Muriqi. But then, guess what? The same man scores a beautiful header right after. Then Acerbi scores another goal.